pick.
Hello everyone and welcome to another NizCast. I of course am Niz and we are here on a little bit of a special Sunday. Of course it's Father's Day, which meant that we actually didn't have too many teams show up tonight. There's only about 15 teams. But we're here in the grand finals. We got the meme regime, which we've casted a fair bit recently, as they've been pretty routinely making it to the finals. And they're going up against Apes and Chimps. A bit of a funny name there, but haven't seen them this far in the tournament before, so let's see if they're going to be able to put up a good fight against the meme regime. But of course, we just had another fantastic event at ESL that just concluded. So we're excited to see that. I actually didn't get to watch the finals, so I'm still catching up on that. I actually do know who won, but yeah, ESL was pretty good. So I'm pretty proud, or pretty glad that I got to see most of it so far. But
Radiant team pick.
Yeah, of course we're here in the SCS, where this is the last SCS before we start the open qualifiers and the craziness that will be the open qualifiers for TI. We just had the teams released, so we actually know who's going to be in the main qualifiers and who are the direct invites for TI. And NA's been a little bit, or America's, I guess, it has been a little bit of a shit show. We ended up with only 6 teams getting directly invited into the main qualifiers, whereas every other region got 8. And that was really because there just wasn't enough teams that were still eligible. Of course, there are going to be 2 open qualifier spots, which will make it 8 in total. But one of those we assume is going to be EG. But I'm sure there's going to be plenty of teams trying to cheese EG. I think it's going to take a hell of a lot more than just a level 1 Roche to cheese EG, but it's going to be pretty exciting. I expect to see these teams in the open qualifiers as well. I'm going to be casting as many of those as I can. Once again, partnering up with Faceit to be casting some of that stuff. But let's catch up in the draft and see where we are here. As the meme regime, they banned out Ricky, Bounty Hunter, Faceless Void, and Tinker. And of course we have Apes and Chimps who banned out the Beastmaster, the Phoenix, of course the Phoenix, Slardar, and Death Prophet. On to the picks now. Vengeful Spirit, Nature's Prophet, and Dro Ranger. A team I think Toby would absolutely love. That's going to be on the side of the meme regime so far. And Apes and Chimps have picked up Lion, Darkseer, and Earth Spirit. So already having their offlaner in the Darkseer, Lion and Earth Spirit being in their support duo, and now they're going to add on a Puck, which we assume is going to be in the mid lane, and Medusa getting picked up by the meme regime. Alright, so Nature's Prophet offlane, support Vengeful Spirit, Dusa mid, Dro Ranger safe lane. Probably what it's looking like so far, and they're just going to look to add on one more support, but very, very scary with the quad range lineup so far, getting buffed by the Dro Ranger aura, but also the Vengeful Spirit aura, Vengeance aura I believe it's called. Got him. That's going to of course buff that, and of course the minus armor are going to be really, really strong there. So they're going to look to add on a 4th, or another support, a 5th hero. Who that's going to be, I don't know. I don't even know if you absolutely have to go with a ranged hero just to have the synergy with the Dro Ranger. I think it's more important just to have a really strong, probably disabling support, as they are pretty light on disable so far. Of course, they've got the silence from Dro with the push, Medusa, somewhat of a zone controlling ult as well. It's I almost think of Stone Gaze as it's almost like a Ravage. When you pop it in terms of how it affects a team fight. Of course, you don't get the stun benefit and you don't get the damage from it, but that you get from Ravage, and it doesn't have as big of an impact or an area, but it still does kind of the same thing in a team fight. So it's not as good as Ravage, but it somewhat has the same kind of effect. So it does have some CC type properties to it, but beyond that, you're really just looking at a Vengeful Spirit stun, which puts you really, really light on CC. You see the Disruptor getting banned out by Apes and Chimps, and that makes sense. It's a hero that's going to be able to really control the fight. Expect them to add on another one. Not really full of CC. He's got the Ensnare on the Oracle, but it's going to be one that's going to try to keep alive Drow Ranger if there's some kind of dive going onto him, or her, I should say, or even on Medusa, anything like that. I like Oracle's going to provide a little bit more sustain, so they went with a little bit of a different route than just going for CC, but either way it works out. Phantom Lancer, the final ban from the meme regime. And what is Apes and Chimps going to pick up here for their safe lane carry? You ideally want to get something that's going to be able to go a little bit later on into the game, but it can't be something that peaks too early. Basically, you want to position yourself in the game where you're going to be able to scale a little bit better on your hard carry than what the meme regime has, because they've got a decent amount of push, a decent amount of snowball in their lineup, but of course they can go late with the Medusa. However, I think it's important for them to be able to fight before you get to the late game. So it's got to be a hero that's going to be able to still have a presence. There we go. Slark's going to be exactly one of them. Great against Medusa. Of course, you're able to attack her, reduce her damage. But as you steal those stats, you're reducing her damage, you're reducing her HP through reducing her strength, but you're also reducing her int, so you're reducing her mana shield as well. So Slark is fantastic against Medusa, but like I said, it's one of those heroes that's going to be able to allow you to scale late, but it's also going to allow you to be a little bit stronger in the mid game and able to fight, so that meme regime doesn't just snowball off the towers with a whole bunch of push that they have with the Nature's Prophet, the Drow Aura, the Venge Aura, and all that. But either way, we've got our full 10 heroes here, so just waiting for the last player to select, and we'll be hopping into the game here for the grand finals of the Semi-Pro Cup Series.
10 seconds remaining.
We actually had a little delay waiting for the finals lobby to get hosted.
Remaining.
And I have all the SCS admins tagged on Steam as SCS admins, both the past and the present admins. And for some reason, I went to message JCB, and I was just scrolling down the list. I'm like, SCS admin, there he is. And I messaged him. I was messaging Hype, and I had messaged him like, wow, it's weird that he's using the name Hype. But either way, Hype ended up making the lobby, and JCB, I guess, got the finals off. But he did actually say that looks like we're probably going to be getting a new ticket for SCS. So excited for that. And that way, because apparently the one that's in right now, you're not actually able to purchase it anymore. I don't know when that happened. That might have actually happened with Reborn, but not entirely sure. Pretty sure I got my ticket from playing in SCS probably like 2 years ago. There we go, we've resumed after a little bit of pause there, which means it's time to introduce our teams and our players. So without further ado, let's look at Apes and Chimps on our Radiant side. We've got Bubble Monkey playing the Earth Spirit. That's going to be a fun name. We've got Alessia playing the Lion. Enough is going to be playing the Dark Seers. What the heck am I doing? What? I don't know what I'm doing either way. We're gonna wait for them to resume here before we go continuing introducing the teams and the players, but we can take a quick look at our starting items so far as both teams are starting to head out on the map. As we see, the Windlace picked up by the Lion to start things off, and Boots first on the Nature's Prophet, which we expect from an offlane Nature's Prophet. Beyond that, we've got Sentries picked up by the Oracle. Everything else looks pretty standard. Drow stacking those stats to start things off. Everything else looks pretty standard to me, but double smoke. Everyone's talking about 5-manning mid. I don't think we're going to see that. There we go. We're resuming. So enough is enough. Darkseer. It's going to be played by enough. And we got to pause again. Are you kidding me, guys? I mean, you can always forfeit. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do that. But I'm pretty excited for the qualifiers. It should be pretty hype. Because it is every year. I know that BTS is doing some stuff as well. So that should be exciting. I almost think that the open qualifiers are going to end up being more exciting than the main qualifiers. Just because it's going to be such a mess. I think there's going to be a ton of people covering EG. I'm probably not going to cover EG at all. Unless, you know, it comes down to it. But yeah, I think there's going to be a ton of people covering EG. I think there's going to be a ton of great games. Because there's so many good teams down there that are going to try to battle their way through the open qualifiers. So I think we should have a lot of really, really great games. Unfortunately, they are going to be best of ones until pretty deep on into it. As I imagine they're going with the same format that they used for Manila in Shanghai, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But either way, it should make for some really great games, and I look forward to it. I've been trying to make my overlays, and I don't know where the creativity has gone, but it's just not there. I've scrapped a few designs already, and I've got nothing right now. So here's to hoping I'm actually gonna get something done. I need to. Hey, shout out to me. Thanks, guys. I actually need to redesign my one that I use for SCS as well. It's rather outdated. It's one that it's what I had absolutely no idea what I was doing with photo editing. Or image editing, I should say. Those guys are great. He probably wanted some sick Dota experience with a sick Dota 2 game, and instead he's casting this shit show. What did he expect from the meme regime? Oh shit, we're actually going to have the game. Here we go. No all, please. Caster reported. Oh god, guys. Alright, we'll introduce again. We've got Bubble Monkey. He's going to be playing the Earth Spirit for Apes and Chimps. We've got Alessia playing the Lion. Enough is going to be playing the Darkseer. Samir is going to be playing the Puck. And Ganja is going to be playing the Slark. As for Dire's side, they've moved into the opponent's jungle, which means that either team's not really going to run into each other. We got Jaehee playing the Oracle for the meme regime. Zingle is going to be on Dro Ranger. Tai is going to be playing the Medusa. Kim Jong-il is going to be on the Nature's Prophet. And Burlog is going to be playing the Vengeful Spirit. And looks like neither team will run into each other, but Bubble Monkey... Oh, this is probably the most dangerous area on the map in all of Dota, walking down that river, and we're going to see him get into a little bit of trouble. He's going to roll away, but are any of his teammates going to get caught? Doesn't look like it. As Ganja's going to walk in and get stunned by the Vengeful Spirit, but doesn't really look like we're going to have any further action, as Top Rune's going to get camped, as Puck going to rotate up there. So both mid heroes did split the bounty rune, with Tai getting the bottom one. Sorry, one sec, guys. Alright, we're good to go. Alright, so let's take a quick look at our lanes. In our bottom lane, it is going to be an aggressive lane. It is going to be an aggressive lane coming up from the meme regime, as we've got Oracle, Vengeful Spirit, and Dro Ranger down here. They're going up against the safe lane of the Slark, protected by the Lion and the Earth Spirit, but he's already starting to rotate away from that, maybe helping out in the mid lane, where we've got Puck going up against Medusa. Top lane is going to be Darkseer going up against the safe lane Nature's Prophet. So it's really going to be interesting to see what happens in this bottom lane with the aggro lane. This Bubble Monkey. Oh, we got some lag coming out here. But now Bubble Monkey's going to disconnect. You guys are just playing this stall game. But Bubble Monkey's sitting here waiting to camp mid, but there's also a courier that's going to be coming in shortly. It is going to be sitting there waiting. But with the meme regime going with an aggressive lane, there's really going to be no one to come back and ferry that from the courier. So it's always susceptible to a hero rotating on in. As Bubble Monkey has reconnected, and here comes the courier. Will he be able to time this and pop out? He's going to roll in onto mid, onto the Medusa. As they're going to get some damage and going to force out a TP from the Oracle, who will then cancel it. Now, are they going to try to go on the bottom? They will. They're going to get the stun off onto Alessia, who's trying to run away. Are you serious, he says. And that's going to be our first blood. As Zingle's going to get the last hit on the Drow Ranger. You know, Sammer just taking some damage in the mid lane. Ty already completely and here comes the roll again from Bubble Monkey. As the Medusa now across the river and in a lot of trouble. We're going to see our first kill on the board for Apes and Chimps, as now we're all evened up at 1 kill apiece. Jaehee going to pick up the bottom rune, but it's just going to be an illusion. Unfortunately for him, Bounty Rune spawns up in the top. An illusion, not really the best rune for him right now. There's not too much. Oh, actually, this is going to provide him a little bit of extra damage. As Bubble Monkey going to roll back down onto the low ground. It's going to provide him with a little bit of extra damage, but it's not really as effective as some of the other runes could be. It's not like he can really use the illusions to block up any neutral camps or anything like that. He does get the puck down kind of low, and we have the Nature's Prophet coming from behind, and he gets the courier. Will he be able to get a kill here? The puck has already started to bottle up, down to 200 HP. Going to get trapped in a sprout, but once again, able to orb and jaunt away. As Burlog rotates in as well, and we've got a TP in here from Bubble Monkey. He needs to be really careful. There are 4 heroes here from the meme regime, but once again, he's able to roll away. This has created a little bit of space in the bottom lane where Slark might be able to get some CS. Currently only sitting at 4 and 0 right now in terms of his creep score. He's going to get a little bit of space here, but that is not the kind of start that you want from your Slark, especially when the Drow Ranger is sitting at a 12 and 3. A little bit of a lead there so far, and then of course you've got to keep in mind that there's a Medusa in the mid lane, and currently our leader at 18 and 1, as we're going to get a roll from the Earth Spirit trying to find Kim Jong-il. He won't, but he will get caught by a Sprout. But really not going to be in danger of dying there. Still needed probably about 3. I don't know if the armor would do it in 2, but I think it's 3. Alessia getting trapped there, having to TP away as once again we get another rune spawn, and Kim Jong-il. Actually, that's still the 2-minute rune spawn. There's the 4-minute. As once again, Bounty Rune in the top location. We've got Arcane in the bottom. Is Ty going to come up and bottle up that bounty? With that Nature's Prophet in the mid lane, enough. Had a little bit of space in the top. He's now our leader in terms of CS at 23 and 0. And Ping's coming out in the bottom lane where they're looking to maybe go on one of the heroes down here. Slark, pretty slippery though. Especially with your ability to catch the Slark is really just the stun from the Vengeful Spirit, which you can pretty easily just turn around and pounce away, which puts you back in a little bit of a safer position when you get stunned. And of course, you've got Dark Pack to clear it off if needed as well. So there's really no way that you can get caught out. But he's taking a lot of damage here, and he's not going to use Pounce or Dark Pack until it's way too late. I don't know what Ganja was doing there, but he's dead as the meme regime gets their second kill of the game. After a big dive from the meme regime, but it definitely pays off. They actually have 4 heroes in the bottom lane as they've converged on a lane with 4 heroes twice already in this game. And Alessia once again having to TP away from that side shot. But now Apes and Chimps said we can't stay down there. They're going to start TPing up to the top lane and going to rotate. Actually, the Earth Spirit down toward the bottom, and he doesn't care about anything. He's going to jump right onto Kim Jong-il. He won't get the kill, and instead he's going to pay for it with his life. The TP support coming in gets cancelled. This is going to be a dead tier 1 tower, and this is exactly what I was talking about in the draft, about the meme regime's ability to push and snowball off tower gold, as they already started here with the kill on a tower in under 6 minutes into the game. And then on top of that, they've got their Medusa doing great in the mid lane, which really actually strengthens them, not just because they're, I guess their hard carry is getting some good farm in the mid lane, but it's also really setting back the Puck, who's sitting at 19 and 3 CS right now. And Puck is really important for Apes and Chimps to get a good start, as that's the thing that's really going to help them in the mid game, really going to help them create kills and get pickoffs, which really kind of stunts that, once again, snowball of getting tower gold and destroying towers with the push. So we'll look and see how Apes and Chimps are going to be able to rebound from this, enough doing a little bit of jungling. And they've sent, or they're going to keep the Slark up in the top lane. Who are they going to send down to the bottom and get some soak? It's going to be Lion. But now he's getting slowed down by the Frost Arrows. There's a couple more attacks, and Alessia is going to go down here. Needs to be careful he doesn't dive under tower, because Zingle could get stunned up, especially with the tower switching to him. We missed a kill in the mid lane, as Ty got a kill on Bubble Monkey, or some other heroes rotating in as well. It looks like Meme Regime going to once again gather, as 4 heroes in the mid lane going for another tower push. And I guess you can do that with Zingle in the bottom lane being pretty much uncontested. Doesn't really have too much to worry about either. It's really just the Earth Spirit. And with the Earth Spirit dead, there's really not much catch. Nothing for you to really worry about being pushed up that deep in the lane. And here comes the Earth Spirit rolling in onto Ty in the mid lane. They're going to use the ultimate from the pocket. That's going to secure them the kill on the Medusa. We had some heroes rotate down towards the bottom, and Meme Regime just says, well, we can't get mid, we're going to go for the bottom tier 2 instead. As Jaehee and Kim Jong-il down here, and they're starting to smack away at the tower. The tower already down to half HP.
Bottom tower is under attack.
It's Apes and Chimps, not really much they can do here to defend. They've got the Ion Shells going down on the creep wave. But that's something that's going to be easily focused down by the Drow Ranger, and it's dead already. So we're going to see the tier 2 tower go down here. Apes and Chimps, are they even going to try to get the deny? I don't think it's wise. As there it is. So Zingle gets the last hit, immediately TP's up to the top lane. And we'll start pushing that and forcing Ganj out of the lane. Slark had a little bit of free farm in the top lane while all that was going on, but still pretty low down on that list. 25 and 1 CS. I'll switch over to net worth in about a minute and a half from now, as we round about the 10-minute mark, to see exactly how far behind he is, but I imagine it isn't pretty for Apes and Chimps. Even Enough, who's third highest there on last hits, 44, isn't really in the best of shape. He's really just kind of got his starting core with the Soul Ring and the Arcane Boots, but hasn't started at all on his mech. Which is another big item that Apes and Chimps are going to want to be able to fight mid-game against this push coming up from Meme Regime, as they're once again pushing the top lane. As the tier 1 tower's down, and are they going to keep going? I think they should, and I think they are. And now I don't see how Apes and Chimps are really going to be able to stop them right now. And Ty taunting them a little bit as he just stands up on his high ground and says hi in all chat and says, "What? Basically, what are you guys doing?" Almost to the same effect as dropping a question mark. As the Earth Spirit was starting to come in from behind, but that's been spotted out by Kim Jong-il. Enough also going for a flank play, but he's already down at 400 HP. And this tier 2 tower is going to go down once again uncontested.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So we have 5 outer towers already down under 10 minutes into this game. And they are not done. They're going to go for this tier 2 in the mid lane. And at some point, Apes and Chimps are going to have to look to defend here. But they're waiting for some items. I don't know what the big ticket's going to be. Mech is still quite a ways out. You've got Veil pretty much completed by the Puck.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
But there's that tier 2. What about the Slark? No, he doesn't really have much progress either. Just an Aquila, and that's not going to be enough to fight. And look at this. Meme Regime backing after taking that tier 2 tower. They know that Apes and Chimps can't fight right now. And they're just going to go for a Roche. And it doesn't even look like Apes and Chimps are going to be able to move out. I'm going to quickly open. And yeah, they didn't use either of those smokes yet. I didn't think they had, but they're going to use the scan. And they're actually going to find some heroes because there was the Vengeful Spirit outside the pit. But Roche already dead. We're going to have a rock. Going to briefly stun up Kim Jong-il. But the Aegis has already been picked up by drone. We're going to have our first team fight of the game. Or are we? His Apes are just going to try to run away as best as they can. But Bubble Monkey, one more attack. And he is dead. It's Burlog who gets the kill there. Ty just charging at them almost by himself until the Nature's Prophet got there. But everyone from Apes and Chimps just fleeing the scene, getting the hell on out of there. Because they do not want anything to do with the team fight at this point. Especially with a second life on that Drill Ranger as well. Kim Jong-il jumps up to the top lane, going to push it. And force someone to come back and defend the creep wave that's pushing. He'll be down in the bottom lane to join up with his team. As it looks like they're going to go for a high ground push. As we're going to quickly switch on over to the net worth, and we can see the top three all on the side of the meme regime, with that Dro Ranger way ahead. Zingle at 6.6k net worth, and then we've got Ty at 5.7, and then Kim Jong-il at 5k, and then the closest challenger is 4.1 on the puck, and then 3.8 on the Darkseer, and 3.5 on the Slark. That is nowhere near equivalent net worth, and that makes it very, very difficult for Apes and Chimps to fight here. And there goes the tier 3. One more attack. Kim Jong-il gets it. And they should be able to stay here for Arax. And there's really not much that Apes and Chimps are going to be able to do. They have the Veil completed on the puck, so maybe that'll help. Got level 6 on the line as well. Nice stun from the line as Alessi gets 2. We got 2 caught in the Dream Coil. As the first hero to go down is the Vengeful Spirit. As the Finger Bang comes out from that line. Samir jumps in, gets the silence off, but I don't think it actually hit anyone. Enough. Tries to run back, and he just needs one more auto attack from Ty, and he won't find it as he gets once again stunned up by the Lion. Great play here from Alessia, keeping his team in the game. But I don't think it's going to be enough to hold on to the racks as Alessia ends up going down. Samir taking a lot of damage as well. We have an instant buyback from the Lion as they do not want to lose right here, right now. As Zingle's going to die, but keep in mind he's got that extra life as Aegis will bring him back in just a second. Kim Jong-il now low on HP. Vacuum going to bring him and Ty back. But Apes and Chimps need to make sure they don't overextend by chasing here as Meme Regime. Oh, they are going to lose their Drill Ranger. Almost got the TP off. But Apes and Chimps, I guess with a successful hold there, they lost their tier 3 tower. And it cost them a buyback on the Lion. But it's a successful hold for now. And they might even find another kill as they're going to chase down this Medusa. And Ty will die. Burlog, who was our first casualty in the team fight, he's now back in the action, but now he's desperately running for his life. As Samir's going to jump forward, and Ganja's going to find it with the pounce. And the Vengeful Spirit's going to go down. Quick look at the show fight recap. Unfortunately, it doesn't recap all the kills. But great hold there from Apes and Chimps as they even us up at 6 kills apiece, and they might actually take the kill lead here as they found Jahi, who basically had no business being in the trees there. But they catch him, and now they're ahead 7-6. It has been a very one-sided match so far, with the Meme Regime just taking tower after tower after tower, including breaking the base, taking the tier 3 tower, and starting to work on the racks. But then Apes and Chimps finally took their first fight of the game, and it worked out well for them. But I have a feeling the Meme Regime, they're not done pushing yet. I think they're going to keep pushing. I think they know that they're still in a great position. That fight was a little bit sloppy, a little bit scrappy, as they got pretty separated. It all started with a nice play from Alessia, who came in from above, came down and got a great line stun off here onto 2 heroes. And that really set everything up. It gave them a good initiation on the team fight. It allowed them to blow up the Vengeful Spirit with the Finger Bang. And then it was really a 5v4 fight with you having the high ground. So a great start to the fight. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it this time, but we'll see. As once again, the Meme Regime going to take to the high ground. We'll start chipping away at the range racks. As Alessia once again taking that high position. And Zingle going to get caught with a stun also. The wall comes down, but immediately swap out from Burlog. As that wall, it's a little bit of a zoning wall, but not really doing too much right now. As here comes our engage. Samir getting very, very low. He will be okay. There's not going to be too much damage there to follow up there. As Kim Jong-il also taking a lot of damage, and he's in a little bit of a rough spot there, and he'll go down. He was trying to focus down the melee racks as he realized he was going to die, but wasn't even able to get that. There's another great stun from Alessia. Will once again secure a kill on the Vengeful Spirit. As both The Puck and the Lion very, very low on HP, but Slark and Darkseer have plenty of HP to keep charging forward as they find a kill, but now the Slark loses a lot of HP, and Enough doesn't have enough HP as he goes down, as Zingle able to kite him. The Lion goes down as well. Buyback from Enough. But it's just going to be 3 left to defend here as Samir jumps on in, tries to get some burst damage off on a Zingle, but it only drops down to 400. And now Zingle will try to TP out, and he will be successful this time. Enough was close. He did have vacuum available, but of course he didn't have vision up onto that high ground to see the Drow Ranger. And once again, we've got this chase onto the Medusa into the mid lane. As I think we've seen this one before, playing out a little bit differently. But I'm not sure if they're going to be able to find the kill. And once again, the Vengeful Spirit's there to join in on the fun. This time gets the swap off, and the pounce won't land. So Venge, will get caught by the Puck ult. So we will lose the Venge, and will we lose the Dusa? A lot of mana. Force Staff going to push him back. He's going to pop the Stone Gaze, and this is going to be a turnaround for Meme Regime as Ganja's in a lot of trouble. He doesn't have access to his ultimate, and he's going to go down as Apes and Chimps have overextended here. Invisrune going to get bottled up here by the Puck. As Jaehee's still chasing, but meanwhile in the top lane, Kim Jong-il is going for a push as well as he starts working on this tier 3 tower. They did at one point get that melee racks, but the range still stands in the bottom lane. And tier 3 gets down to about 2/3 HP. And the other heroes from Meme Regime now marching down the mid lane as Puck jumps on in, gets a little bit of harassing damage off as Zingle gets Force Staff forward. And gets a little bit of harassing damage in on his own. As Jaehee pretty close to finishing his mech, just needs the recipe for the headdress, which is flying in, so they will have a mech on board on the Dire side. Let's take a quick look at our Radiant side, and Enough does have his as well. So we're even up in terms of mechs, and we've got a Blink Dagger up on the Slark, as there's been a lot of action, so I'll just quickly bring up our items here so we get a quick look. Are they even going to give me enough time? So we're going to have action here as Puck's going to come in with the Dream Coil, but Zingle, he's going to get caught. Swap out's going to bring him down to 33 HP as the Oracle doing the best that he can to keep him alive, as Jaehee doing a great job there as Zingle will get back up to about a quarter HP, but once again he's trapped as Samir will be able to find the kill there. We've got 2 dead on either side, count it 3 dead on the side of Apes and Chimps as they drop the Darkseer. But it's a Puck and the Slark left alive, and that might be enough for them to defend here as Ganja jumps in, gets the kill on the Venge. 2 versus 2 now, and now we lose the Slark. Now it's Puck versus the world as Medusa and Nature's Prophet are not going to bother with chasing that Puck. Just said, well, we can just push right now, and they're going to go for the top tier 3. It's going to force out a buyback from Ganja as Alessia also back as well, but keep in mind this Puck is in behind them. Samir tries to do as much harass as possible, throws the orb as if he needed to escape. Doesn't do any damage to Nature's Prophet, but they're not going to need it to get the kill anyways. As the tier 3 tower ended up going down, we did lose the range racks in the bottom lane as well as these creeps now working on the tier 4. But this game is absolutely crazy. Quickly looking at our net worth, and that's the effect of the snowball from the early tower gold. Is just bring down those towers, you get such a huge lead. That was almost a 10k lead. Very, very early on, just having all the towers. We didn't really see too many fights, we didn't see too many ganks, we didn't see too many pickoffs, anything like that. It was just all tower gold. And then there was a little bit of throw, which kind of brought it back in favor of Apes and Chimps. But now we're still kind of hovering around that 10k lead. As the Meme Regime still trying to take an aggressive position out on the map right now. While I was going over that, they did take a quick look into the Roche pit to see if he's available. Not yet. Is going to be a little bit of a late spawn for them, which is a little bit unfortunate. Once again, I'll quickly bring up our items here, see if there's anything new and interesting. Of course, we've got the Blink Dagger up on the Slark and the Puck, which we pointed out. The Veil we already knew was coming out, and the mech on the Darkseer. Those are all the big items for the Radiant side. As for the Dire side, there's a hell of a lot more. Of course, the mech on the Oracle. We've got the Dragon Lance, or Hurricane Pike, excuse me, and Yasha on the Drow Ranger. We've got a Yasha, as well as a Dragon Lance this time, and drums on the Medusa, and of course, Aghanim Scepter, drums for the Nature's Prophet, and we've got a Vlad's added on by the Venge. And here comes the Meme Regime once again, as they're going to take to the high ground and start working on these racks. But Alessia, once again, goes with a very similar positioning off to the side, going for a little bit of a flank play with the stuns, trying to get multiple heroes. But look at the positioning here from Meme Regime. They're very protected, and they're going to be able to easily take these racks. And Ganja's going to jump at the back line, see if he'll be able to find a kill. Meanwhile, I've got a Dream Coil just going to catch the Medusa. As this fight pretty separated here, as Stone Gaze has already come out from tie. But we've got 2 heroes down on the side of Apes and Chimps, and one of them's the Slark with no buyback available. As enough gets swapped back, he's dead. We're going to have a buyback from the Earth Spirit, but it's going to be him, the Lion, and the Puck left to defend, and we're about to lose the Lion. One more auto attack. There it is. Zingle finds it once again. Jaehee there to save Zingle and keep him alive. He might pop here, but no, the heal is there in time as Alessia's stun came in as well. But GGs are going to get called as the Meme Regime, with a little bit of an aggressive play there. A little bit of aggressive strategies. They just push. They were talking about how they needed to go and do something else. They were playing in Kings of Dota at 9:30, and they did it with 12 minutes to spare. So the push strat worked, as they went with that Dro Aura, and man, there was a moment of a little bit of throws there. But Apes and Chimps, you almost felt like they had basically no chance. They just kind of got pushed, and it hurt them in 2 different ways. One, the Slark got basically no farm in the safe lane because of the aggro tri lane from the Meme Regime, which worked wonders for them, of course, keeping that Slark down. Did the Dro get free farm? No, but the Dro still got significantly more farm than the Slark did. And they knew that they're going to be able to push and take down some towers. So they're going to be able to get push gold, tower gold, and they're going to be able to snowball off that for their Dro Ranger, which is going to keep her in the game. On top of that, the mid lane, the Medusa had a fantastic time against the Puck, which made it even more difficult for Apes and Chimps to be able to defend. With Puck having a slow start, didn't have the levels, they weren't able to get the pickoffs. And even still, once they got the Blink Dagger and the Veil up on the Puck, it just wasn't enough. There just wasn't enough damage. There wasn't enough control. Apes and Chimps has, I think, a pretty solid group of heroes. They had a solid 5 heroes, a solid team there. But unfortunately, it just didn't have enough time to pan out and play out how it normally would in a normal game. So I think that lineup would work in the majority of games. It would have been fantastic. But going up against the strong push from the Meme Regime, you're lacking some wave clear. You're lacking the ability to defend high ground, which seems a little bit weird when you've got a Puck and a Darkseer. But we saw a Meme Regime just take to that high ground. They had so many summons with the lack of wave clear and the ability for Meme Regime to also stay back with all their range heroes, chip away at the towers, back up, come back forward if they needed to. It made it very difficult for Apes and Chimps to really do much. They had to really take to a hard engage on the fight, which doesn't really suit their lineup. But either way, congratulations to the Meme Regime for winning the Semi-Pro Cup Series this week. Of course, we'll be back next Sunday to do it all again. But I'm not too sure how many teams are going to show up because we're going to be in the middle of the qualifiers for TI. So I'm really excited about that. And we're going to start all of that with the open qualifiers on day 1 here on NizCast. So definitely hit me up with a follow and come back for that, as we're going to be casting a ton of games. But that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. We'll see you again either in the open qualifiers or next Sunday for the Semi-Pro Cup Series. Have a good one and enjoy Father's Day.